Hi everybody. It's been a few years since I've done a video, but one of the questions that I seem to get a lot is, will this handpiece work with GRS or Lindsay type equipment? And the answer is no. This takes a totally different system to make this thing work. And another question I get is, will the Chinese clones work with this? Well, out of the package, no they won't. But I went ahead and got one to see if there's anything that I can do with it and what the differences are. This is how it comes. What the differences are between a GRS clone and the homemade engraving system. Well, this is what I got off of, I don't know, I can't remember if I got it off eBay or probably eBay, because I don't use Amazon and Alibaba. Those are a couple other places you can get these pretty cheap. I mean, there's no way I could make them because I don't have the machine shop that these guys are probably making thousands of them a day, and I'd be lucky to make 10 in a day if I could even do that. So what I was going to do is show you guys the differences and to why they won't work on this system. So here's one of mine, and let me just take it apart real quick. And the spring is in the back, and there's the piston, and the piston weighs in at 3.8 grams. So somewhere between 3.5 and 4 grams is where I wound up making my piston weights. Now let's see what this one weighs in at. Let's get it apart here. There must be an O-ring up inside of this thing to make a seal, because these are a pulse type and it takes a pulse of air to make these work. There's the piston, and the spring is in the front of it. So a pulse of air pushes this down into the quick change tool holder to make the impact, and then the spring pushes it back and resets it, and then another pulse of air pushes it forward. Now let's see what there's the piston out of the Chinese handpiece, and it weighs 11.9 grams, so it's 7.1 grams heavier than the piston I used in my handpieces. So what I was thinking of doing was, let's see how it'll run just like this. So I'm going to put the piston in without the spring, and then I've cut a spring, I've made a spring. It's fairly cushy, and I'm gonna get that down into there. Let's see if I can put it in the piston itself. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's down in the piston. Seems like it's nice and squishy. And we'll put this handpiece back together and see how it runs. So first I'm going to screw it all the way down, and then we'll start backing it off and see if I can get any cutting power out of this thing at all. Okay, here's the, pull out the quick change and put this one in here. Nope. How about that? Okay. Here's the GRS quick change tool holder, and guess what? it don't fit. So there's one thing right there. So let's just go ahead and use these and see how it sounds. I'm not going to probably be able to make a cut with it. A little brass adapter here that I'm going to use to connect this to the machine. Okay, that's connected. Now let's see what we get out of it. Well, it ain't doing anything, is it? The machine's running, but this ain't doing anything. Let's start backing it out. Oh, there it's... Doesn't feel very strong. Let's come out another turn. It's another full turn. Yeah, it's hitting. It's just... I don't think it's going to do much. Let's go out another full turn. Let's try it here. Nope, nothing. So, it doesn't feel real. I'm not getting much out of it now. Ain't doing much, is it? Alright, well, now let's switch to my hand piece and let's see how it does. Piston back in, spring. This is a Delron hand piece. So right off the bat, these don't fit. So that would have to be reamed out in order to fit the GRS. Oh, so can you hear that? Now that's the 3.8 gram piston, and it's hitting hard. I can do stuff, you know, I can do some serious cutting. That's deep with this thing. I couldn't even scratch it with this yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here, and I'm going to take this piston out and see if I can't cut some of it off here and lighten it up some. So if that works, then we'll see if this can't be modified, if you can't modify one of these. So I'm going to start with, looks like it's divided into 5 sections here, and it's kind of hollow in the middle. I'm going to take off the first section and I'm going to weigh it, and I'm going to try to get this. I probably won't go any more than 2 sections because that's about the right length. Because if I go too short, I'm not sure how it'll work, but we can try it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this down and reweigh it. It's coming in right now at almost 11 grams. 10.9 grams is what that's coming in at. So let's cut her down some and see if we can't lighten the load. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I've removed one of the segments. And let's see, it was 3/4 of an inch, 750. Now it's at 690. And it weighs 8.1 grams. It's still twice as heavy as the one in my hand pieces. So let's stick it in here and see how it acts. Alright. Alright. put it back together here and see what it'll do. Won't be making any cuts because I'll have to move a cutter over to the tool holders that come with these, since the GRS won't fit. I find that surprising, but I guess that's how they get around the laws. Okay, let's see what it'll do. So far, nothing. Well, starting to come alive. Not bad. Now we're starting to lose it, so somewhere right in here. It's not bad. It might cut. It still doesn't have the kick this one does, but it's getting there. So let's take another segment out and see if it gets any better. And we'll try this again. Pull this piston out. And take off another segment. We're at 690. So another segment ought to take us down to around 450 or so. And that's about as far down as I care to go. And that ought to bring the weight down another couple of grams. Okay, I'll be back in a second and we'll try this again. Okay, I'm back. Just pulled another segment off of this and we'll give it a try. Let's see what it weighs in at. Okay, now it's 5.55 grams. 5.55, still a little heavier than the 3.8 I use, and it's at 450 thousandths, just under a ½ inch. I don't think I'd want it any shorter than that, but let's see how this works first. Let's see how it works. Sure she fits in there. It's a little snug. I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with it, but we're going to find out. So I pulled 2 segments off. Now it weighs at 5.55 grams. And now we're going to see what this does. It's all the way down, or pretty close to it. Well, it's running. Yeah, it's got some hit to it. That'd engrave. It's getting a little more aggressive. Set the speed. Okay, not bad. Let's see if it'll engrave there. Let me see. Doggone it, I can't just swap these things out, ain't that? They just do not fit. Let's see what the difference is here. These are 230.235, and these are almost 250. So yeah, there's almost a 10,000ths difference between, well, 15,000ths difference between a GRS and the Chinese clone. So right there you got a problem. I guess you could run a reamer down into that thing and open it up so your GRS tool holders would fit. Right now I want to try to get a tool bit into this thing and see if it'll cut. Sure seems like it will. And then we'll have the answer to the question I never could get. A lot of people, like I said, have asked me this question: will that work? And I said, I don't know, I've never tried it. And nobody got back with me to let me know whether they were successful or not. So I thought I'd give it a shot and get one of these things and see if I could get it to run. I'm pretty sure Sean Hughes has already modified one of these on his channel and showed everybody that this was doable. I think he used a ball bearing, I'm not sure. But let's see what we can get this thing to do, if anything. Let's see, can I run it into here? Okay. No, that ain't hitting real hard. Sure feels okay. I'm losing it there. Well, yes, it's engraving. It doesn't have quite the power. Yeah, it doesn't have quite the bite, but it's engraving. Just a lighter line. So can you get one of these Chinese? Said it still needs work. I don't know if a better spring might help. I'm not sure. But it cuts, just not as deep as this one, but it does cut. So, like I said, that answers that question. That yes, you can modify these. It said I was able to get the weight of the piston down to 5.5 grams, so that helped quite a bit. I don't think I'd take it down any farther. It might not work. I could probably take off maybe another 0.5 gram and get it down to 5, but what's the point? Might have to play with the spring, shorter, longer, softer, harder, not real sure, but can you make one of these work with the Homemade Hand Engraving Machine? I would say yes. Is it going to hit as hard as the ones that I'll freely give the blueprints to, and you can build your own? This cuts a good sized trough. I mean, this is getting with the program right here. This has potential. You might be able to get what you want out of it. It's a little weak, but it works. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps you guys out that can't get a hold of one of these things or build your own. You can at least grab one of these Chinese hand pieces. They're cheap, and fiddle with it and see what you can do. Good luck and have fun. Hope to talk to you later. Bye.